Right now at 6, a suspect accused of repeatedly preying on vulnerable women now under arrest.
What these women reported is nothing short of horrific. It's absolutely terrifying.
Plus, what we're learning about an armed robbery that authorities say ended with a deadly police shootout. Then, the real ID deadline that's now for real. Why your current driver's license might not be good enough to fly. And later,
and the Portland Winterhawks are Western Conference champions!
How a double overtime hero sent the Winterhawks back to the league finals for the first time in a decade.
Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. We begin at 6 with an arrest in a string of sexual assaults in Portland after police say a man attacked 3 women in 2021 and 2022 at homeless camps in the Rose City. Let's get right to Blair Best, who is live downtown. And Blair, it sounds like police think there could be more victims.
That's right, David. Police believe Zachary Andrews potentially assaulted more than just 3 homeless women, and now they're encouraging any other victims to come forward.
This is Zachary Andrews. He goes by Cadillac on the streets. He was arrested in late April for sex crimes against 3 homeless women. The victims were between the ages of 40 and 60.
The houseless community is a vulnerable community as it is, and these sort of criminal acts playing out in that community just adds to the angst.
Andrews faces several charges, including rape, strangulation, and kidnapping. Police say the assaults happened at different homeless camps between October 2021 and October 2022. One assault lasted 5 hours.
What these women reported is nothing short of horrific. It's absolutely terrifying.
A lot of people get raped out here. It's the streets.
It's happened to Angela throughout her 8 years on the streets.
I've been raped, molested, burnt, put in tunnels, everything else.
She now carries weapons.
A taser, a knife, and pepper spray.
And never sleeps at night.
If you're a woman, you have to protect yourself and your offspring. On the streets, you can't show no fear.
They are doing everything they can to stay hidden and stay protected.
Katie O'Brien runs Rosehaven, a day shelter for homeless women experiencing abuse and trauma.
54% of women are houseless due to domestic violence. What's most difficult, I think, is that they recognize the need to leave violence and they're exchanging it for a new violence and living outside.
She sees the need for more services.
Places where people can go and be behind a locked door are really important for women living outside.
Without it, women like Angela are left to fend for themselves.
Or always just be prepared for the worst. You know what I mean? And trust your instincts. Just be prepared for what if.
Now, as for Zachary Andrews, he is behind bars, and police released his photo to try and find more victims and encourage them to come forward and contact Portland police. David?
Yeah, thank you, Blair. Appreciate your reporting as always on this. A reminder tonight, if you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence, know that you are not alone and there are resources out there. Here is one available 24/7, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It is 800-799-7233. In your headlines, a Klickitat County Sheriff's deputy is in the hospital after authorities say a man attacked him with a hammer. This was Sunday morning in Dowsport, Washington, across the Columbia from the Dalles. Deputies say they responded to a call about a man identified as 31-year-old Christian Smith having what they described as a psychotic episode at an RV park off State Route 14. While they were talking to Smith's mother, they say he ran out from behind the trailer with a hammer, hitting Deputy Tim Naher on the head. The deputy suffered serious injuries. Smith is now charged with attempted murder. In Eugene, dozens of student protesters have apparently rejected an offer of academic amnesty by University of Oregon officials to leave a growing pro-Palestinian encampment on campus. The Daily Emerald reporting the camp is down to about 120 or so from 150 people earlier. Demonstrators say they got a letter from UO officials saying students who stayed beyond noon today would face conduct code violations. Demonstrators responded with a rally reiterating their demands for divestment, the end of academic exchanges with Israeli universities, and a statement condemning Israeli military actions in Gaza. U of O officials have so far rejected those demands and add negotiations are ongoing. In northern Idaho, an 18-year-old high school student who allegedly hurled racial slurs at the Utah women's basketball team will not face criminal charges. The incident was back in March when the team was staying in Coeur d'Alene for an NCAA tournament game in Spokane. The city prosecutor's office said that despite video and audio evidence, the racial slurs he yelled at the players did not rise to the level of malicious harassment. The teenagers and others in the car told investigators they were, quote, trying to be funny. And a warning from fire officials this evening about lithium-ion battery-powered scooters after one exploded and nearly caught an apartment building on fire. A neighbor reported hearing the explosion this morning in North Portland's Piedmont neighborhood, and firefighters arrived to find heavy smoke filling a stairwell and hallways. Crews then found the burning scooter on the stairs and put the flames out before they could spread. Fire officials say it is best not to store devices with lithium-ion batteries like scooters in stairways or exit paths, and to only charge them when you are at home. Matt?
Well, we got a full charge of sunshine coming our way. In fact, the sky is clearing now. This is the Reserve Golf Course out in Washington County. The clouds are diminishing. It's 59 degrees. It's a little bit breezy, but the wind is going to settle down. The sky is going to clear. And with the cool air mass in place, we will have frost around tomorrow morning. Then it's weather whiplash as we see a major warm up for the end of the week. Now, look at this. You can see on Doppler radar, virtually no showers left to our west and north, just a few scattered showers up in the Cascade foothills, and those are going to end as we go through the nighttime hours tonight, too. So we have a frost advisory for everywhere highlighted in blue here. Notice it does not include the close neighborhoods of Portland, most of Multnomah County, parts of Clackamas County. It's really just the rural areas and some of the suburban areas that are under this frost advisory for tomorrow morning as temperatures drop to about 35, which is just cold enough for frost. After that, we're done with frosty weather. We're done with rainy weather for a long, long time. In fact, Friday, I'm forecasting 90. That'll be a degree above the current record of 89. So Thursday, we jump into the 80s for the first time this year. Friday, we make 90 for the first time this year. And then Saturday, we're still close to 90. However, we've got some pretty good cooling coming our way for Mother's Day, which is great. Now, with this hot weather on the way, and it really will be hot, a couple of things to consider and hazards to avoid. The lakes, the rivers, and even the ocean still very cold, so avoid cold water shock. You don't want to jump in, get swept away, not be able to breathe all that. The water can be dangerous this time of the year. So can the snow conditions if you plan on climbing. A very popular season to go climbing, peak of the climbing season. Avalanche danger will be high. There's been 5 feet of new snow in the last 9 days. And for everybody else in the valley, it's going to be really dry air, low humidity, so make sure you avoid dehydration. David?
Yeah, all good reminders. Thank you, Matt. The new information this evening after what authorities say started as an armed robbery on Monday ended with a deadly police shootout at a home in southeast Portland. Joe Ranieri's live in the Hazelwood neighborhood with those new details. Joe?
Good evening to you, David. Now, that exchange of fire led to the death of one person who was inside a house along Southeast 124th Avenue, just off Burnside, almost 24 hours ago last night. Now, no officers were injured in this shooting, but the reason police were coming out here, we learned earlier this afternoon, was to serve a warrant because they believe 2 people inside that house were 2 suspects in an armed robbery that happened early yesterday morning. The shooting happened Monday night at this house along Southeast 124th and Burnside. The CERT team was there to serve a search warrant. Then, they say just after 6:30, a man inside the house fired at officers. Then officers returned fire, killing the suspect. None of the officers were hurt.
We're fortunate that our officers will be going home safely to their families, and I'm grateful for that. I'm committed as an organization to a very thorough and transparent process. We'll be releasing as much information as possible, as quickly as possible.
A police spokesperson said the reason they were serving a search warrant was because they believe 2 people inside were persons of interest in an armed robbery that took place Monday morning at a business along Northeast Halsey. That includes the suspect who was killed.
It connected to a major crimes unit investigation, but that investigation continues at this hour.
Portland Police spokesman Mike Benner also tells us that a medic who was with CERT immediately began life-saving measures following the shooting, but the suspect died a few minutes later. A gun was recovered near his body. Portland Police Chief Bob Day saying Monday night he's going to do all he can to stop and prevent crime.
We're going to continue to make our effort around one of our primary goals of reducing crime and the fear of crime. And to do so, we're going to be, at times putting ourselves in situations like we did tonight.
Portland police also arrested 2 people at the home, one for the armed robbery and a second for a parole violation. And again, the 4 officers who were involved in last night's shooting were not hurt, but they are all 4 on paid administrative leave right now, which is protocol in these situations. David, back to you.
Joe Ranieri in Southeast Portland this evening. Thank you, Joe. Today is National Fentanyl Awareness Day, and we are learning more about Multnomah County's new awareness campaign. It is called Expect Fentanyl, and it's aimed at young people from 13 to 20. The campaign will highlight the dangers, including how common it is for counterfeit prescription pills to contain fentanyl. We have done so many stories about this. Health leaders say last year, 7 out of 10 fake pills seized by the DEA contained a potentially deadly dose of fentanyl.
And we really want to make sure that a lot of the messaging that we're doing is based on the input that we're getting directly from teens of that age.
I think it will help by just providing like clear information and not misinformation, because there is a lot of misinformation here at school.
Yeah, the more we talk about it, right? The Expect Fentanyl campaign will roll out over the next month. The Oregon Health Authority, by the way, just announced a similar statewide initiative.